What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy Friday. Welcome to a new episode of Unspoken Truth Podcast. I'm your host, Tanise. What's up? Today's topic is pregnancy do's and don'ts. For those that know me personally and been keeping up with what's going on with me in my personal life, grandbaby number three. So I've had quite a bit of experience, both from both and through my kids. I thought this was important because, for some reason, for my culture, uh, a lot of mothers are not making it home with their kids, or the kids is not making it home with the moms, or both are not making it home. And I don't think that it's discussed enough about some of the things that could possibly lead to the loss of a baby, a loss of the mother, the loss of both. So today we're going to talk about do's and don'ts, negotiables and non-negotiables, okay? Um, if you've never had any kids, then this episode is probably not for you. But if you plan on having any kids in the near future, you probably want to take a couple notes, okay? So, one of the things that I can recall within my own experiences of um, both carrying a child, children, and the whole birth experience. Boy, oh boy. Um, I have three kids. The oldest, I probably would say, was the most severe labor and delivery experience. Also, my first. Um, One of the reasons, which is a combination of things, but one of the reasons was I was young. I did not educate myself. I didn't know how to advocate for myself. I didn't know the things that I could say no to and the things that I had to acknowledge and accept and um, entertain. Um, I was born with scoliosis, so I have a crooked spine for those who don't know what that is. So things like epidurals, certain pain meds, things of that nature, I was not even a candidate for, but because I was young, immature, I hadn't educated myself, I allowed my first pregnancy to result in an epidural. Now, there was a series of things that led to that decision, but ultimately it was because there was loss of blood and they were unsure if it was from me or her or both. Okay. Why is that important? That's important because if you don't know what's going on with your body or how to advocate for yourself, you cannot expect anybody to do it for you. That was the one thing I can look back and say that I learned from this experience. Two, being your own advocate, knowing, hey, you have a right to make a birth plan, you have a right to reject certain things, like pain meds, epidurals, vaccinations, eye ointments. I mean, it's a list of things that they usually do in the labor and delivery room. Okay. I said all that to say that you should be able to be your own advocate. You should be able to say, yes, I want this, or no, I don't want that. And that's okay. You should never feel bullied or pressured to do anything that the nurses or doctors is telling you to do. The best advice I can give as far as that is standing your ground. The first thing that I would do if I could go back and change some things was write me out a birth plan. What does that consist of? That consists of you um, being detailed about the things that you want and don't want throughout your experience. Okay, um, that's also acknowledged as a legal document. Now, how does that letter become a legal document? Just like anything else that you do when it comes to the system, courts, things of that nature, lawyers, attorneys, that type of thing. You have selected paperwork notarized. What does that do? That makes it a non-binding agreement, meaning non-negotiable. Hey, This is what I planned out. I got it wrote down on paper. I've had it notarized. You have to acknowledge it. Meaning that the staff is to stick to the plan that was given to them. Okay? I would suggest you make multiple copies. Keep something for your own records. Make sure they got a copy. Um, Make sure they understand the things that you are willing to negotiate about and the things that you are not. Why is this important? That's important because a lot of people, mothers, I shouldn't say people, a lot of mothers end up um, saying yes to a lot of stuff that they don't necessarily understand or agree with. Okay? I am against that because in order for somebody to make a conscious decision that benefits them and the well-being of their unborn child is to have an understanding of what the doctors and nurses are saying, specifically what does that consist of, how does that fit into the plan that you created for yourself and your baby. Okay? You'll have a lot of nurses and doctors come in and tell you, well, we recommend or we suggest or we would like to see you do this, this, and this. If that's not something that you're interested in or something that you want to be a part of your labor and delivery plan, don't do it. There is nothing written physically that says you have to do this way at this time according to this person and this plan. No. What what that does is it gives you a foundation to create and stand on. If you're gonna stand 10 toes down about the things that's important to you, this should be on the list, okay? Um, Let them know, hey, I'm against pain medication. I would prefer my body to just do what it does naturally. Um, if I need some assistance, I'll ask for it, but I don't want to continuously be asked about things that I've already said I don't want. Now, the reason for them doing that is to make sure. Some people say no in the beginning, and then in the end, they end up asking for stuff. Pain management can only be given before a certain centimeter when we're talking about labor and delivery. Okay, there are certain meds, certain things like Pitocin, for example, which I want to be clear that is not a foreign thing that they have created in order to push labor ahead. No, the body actually creates Pitocin on its own. Some people just have a hard time having enough of it be produced to make consistent contractions, um, to keep things steady. Okay, if that makes any sense. Again, this episode is for mothers or people who are considering to be a parent. Okay, so we discussing the things that you negotiate about when you're in the hospital and the things that are non-negotiable. For example, they give out a lot of different things at the birth of your child. They put ointments in their eyes, they prick them in the bottom of their feet, and they draw blood. They do a footprint on a piece of paper. All of those things you could say, I don't want that. Okay? And there is not anything that they can do about it. They have to honor your wishes and the birth plan that you created and had notarized to be viewed as a legal document. Okay? Um, the first order of business I would recommend after the birth of your child is, well, let's start with who is going to help you. Because let's be clear, during this process, the pain may be so excruciating that they asking you a bunch of questions and you can't speak. You're going to need somebody that's going to be a part of your support system to help you be able to verbally say what needs to be said. Okay? Not allowing them to make decisions for you. I would start with a healthy, positive support team. Most hospitals require 2 people or less. Okay, I'm not saying all hospitals, some hospitals. The next order of business will be to come up with some exercises, some different positions that's going to help you get stuff going. Okay, your body is a wonderful vessel and knows exactly what it needs to do at the appointed time that it needs to do it. Okay, it don't need nobody to tell it, hey, you need to do this right now because it's such and such time. No, The body is so miraculous at what it does, which is produce life, that it already knows. Okay. Um, Another thing that I would suggest that you have in your mind is things that you want to do after the birth. Okay. Most people, they want to do skin to skin contact. What does that mean? That means that you're given a significant window of time where that baby is allowed to lay on your chest, get familiar with outside of the womb, um, uh, uh, gauge temperature, body temperature, um, connect with the mother, breastfeed, and those type of things will happen um, after the birth. They'll give you a series of options on what can be done after the birth. I would suggest that you avoid cord cutting as long as possible. Why? Because there is a significant supply of different proteins, minerals, things of that nature that still reside within that cord. Okay, that's still connected to the placenta. I have learned a lot. I did not take any of the placentas from my babies personally, but I would suggest that all mothers do. Why? Because there's a possibility that your child might suffer from some type of illness, God forbid, that requires them stem cells or things of that nature where they're going to need some assistance. Okay? You don't want to find yourself trying to look for somebody who matches your baby's blood type or who can donate the things that's required, bone marrow, different things like that. The placenta is carrying everything that that baby may potentially need in the future. Okay? So plan to have a cooler of some kind, okay? When you finally do decide to sever the cord from yourself and the placenta and the baby. Why? Because that's uh, a must, that you have something to store the placenta in. So that's ice packs. Those are going to be essential. You need those. 2 to 3, okay? In order for you to go home with your placenta. What are some things you can do with it after birth? Because some people be saying, oh, that's a waste of, bodily fluids or flesh or whatever, and I disagree. You can cut little pieces up and add it to your smoothies or your milkshakes or your be cut. Why? Because it's high in fiber. Okay. Um, you can also make little tiny capsules. Say you need some extra something from birth to your 6-week checkup. Maybe you lacking iron because the body endures a lot of loss as far as minerals, essentials, blood, things of that nature. You're gonna have to replenish. Okay, so then you can grind up the placenta, believe it or not, and make it into a powder. Okay, that you can put inside these little capsules, and you can potentially take those daily to help your body get back on track and replenish what is lost. Okay. I got a bunch of videos, but today I didn't plan on being on here too long. I just don't want to postpone too many episodes where we not connecting, where we not talking, where we not conversing, where y'all not seeing me. But I definitely do have a lot going on. Okay, but I'm gonna make sure that I continue to make the time so that we could connect. I enjoy our Tuesday and Fridays conversations. Okay. Another thing I would suggest is that you eat properly. You're gonna have to come up with a decent diet, and I'm not talking about McDonald's and fried chicken and all that crazy stuff. No, you're gonna have to find things that's high in protein, minerals, vitamins, and that kind of thing because your body is gonna be yearning, almost screaming for it. Okay, um, which I believe is directly linked to women having postpartum depression afterwards because they lack so many different components from the labor and delivery itself. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to find you some good things to add to your diet. Okay, high in protein, salads, fruits, grains, nuts. Okay, broccoli, spinach, Brussels sprouts. You want to get as many green veggies and fruits in you as possible. Why? Because that's going to double, maybe even triple or quadruple the time that it's going to take in order for your body to get back aligned. Let's talk about that as well. A lot of people don't realize that the body has to do some rearranging while you carrying this baby. Organs are moved out the way so that a space can be created for the safety of the entire pregnancy. Okay, so after the birth, we talking, yes, you have a 6 week checkup, but I don't want people to get that misconstrued. Yes, that's to check on your well-being, but there's no way you healed anything in 6 weeks. Let's be clear. That's the first phase of the healing process, but it's absolutely not the last. Okay, it literally takes up to 2 years for your body to get back right. Okay, meaning your organs is aligned back where they was before they had to get out of the way. Your iron levels, your blood count, your cellular production, your energy levels, your head space, your mindset. All of those things are going to require support from you. Okay, not you waiting on somebody to get up and do nothing. No, no, you got to advocate for yourself. Now, I'm not saying that the father should not be present. You absolutely gonna need all the help you can get. Okay, but there are some things that the father is not gonna be able to do for you. They can't do nothing but assist if you ask them to. But there are certain things about being a woman and producing and giving birth. A man has no understanding. Okay, we don't want to count them out because they are very much a part of the process. They help create the baby. They absolutely should be hands-on with the whole process. Okay, so um, what else am I leaving out? Because I feel like I'm leaving something out. Oh, making sure that you got the bare necessities. Your bag packed. You got enough clothing, you got enough underclothes, you got enough socks, you got um, hygiene products, you got toiletries, you got enough sanitary napkins, you got a breast pump. Are you? Because we need to talk about that too. Um, a lot of mothers choose to breastfeed. Some mothers don't. We know what the best alternative is, which is your milk. Okay. Don't let them talk you into putting your baby on no formula. Now you got some babies that's just they don't want to latch on. Okay, I did successfully breastfeed my last two children, so I know what a baby who don't want to breastfeed looks like. Okay, my oldest child was not interested, and I tried all kind of stuff. Okay, um, yes, breastfeeding is the best alternative, but some babies just don't want to. So I don't want you to be confronted with that scenario, possibly within your own circumstance, and give up. You gotta keep trying. Understand that babies are pure. They have no idea about this life and the things that it consists of, or the things that make it go round. Okay, all of those things will be taught, will be learned from you, the parents. Okay. Um, you absolutely want to be very cautious. Not to say that hospitals is letting certain things fly, but you still got to think about it, okay? Because there are some crazies in the world where they'll be trying to get you to do stuff, okay? Um, hey, let's take the baby and wash them up. Let's take the baby to the nursery. Be an advocate for your child. If your baby is leaving you in, you need to be leaving with that baby so you see what's going on. We got a lot of crazies in the world, okay? This is not the first rodeo with people snatching up babies out the hospital, Okay, so you want to make sure that you are in a safe environment and that you advocating for your baby that has no voice. Okay, um, don'ts, because we didn't talked about a lot of do's but a lot of don'ts. Um, don't allow yourself to be pressured by staff, hospital, doctors, nurses, even your significant other. Don't. Again, you know exactly what you need. Only you know how much you can take, tolerate, and stand. Um, use your superpowers, because absolutely giving birth to a child is a superpower. Okay, there are people in this world that would never experience that, but for the ones that have or will or plan on it, boy oh boy, it is an amazing experience, and it's something that you will not forget. Okay. I still feel like I'm leaving something out. Um, Aftercare. I knew I was gonna be leaving something out. Aftercare, because you got a long recovery ahead of you after this baby is born. So that means you gotta take care of yourself. You gotta make sure you're getting enough food and nourishment every day. You gotta make sure that you taking care of yourself as well as your baby. Okay. Um, with a little exercise and a little movement, not doing too much, but making sure that you don't allow your body to get stiff. Okay, because having a baby and delivering sends shock waves through your entire body. Okay, um, like I said, the body is an amazing vessel, um, to be able to bring life into this world and snap back to what it was before that is truly amazing. Um, I feel like I'm missing something else. Oh, the bare necessities. We was talking about this is the bare minimum. Yes, some people gonna go overboard. They need all the expensive gadgets and gadgets and all that. Listen here. I'm gonna be the first person to tell you, please don't go out here buying all that stuff. Stuff to help you cut corners. Stuff to help you not spend that one-on-one time and bond with your baby. Don't waste your money on that. Because what that's going to do is create a mindset of, well, I could shortcut about this. No, you don't want to take no shortcuts. You want to experience the full bliss of the experience itself, and you don't want to shortchange yourself in no kind of way. You deserve to be able to experience that without no conditions or no guilt or no shame. um, you're a hero to me. Anybody that can bring life into this world is a hero to me. Um, what else? I feel like I'm leaving something out. Oh, if you have kids outside of the child that you are about to birth, please start way before you get ready to get to a hospital or any of that stuff. Start having conversations with your child. Now, you may have a baby that may be less than a year old, and now you getting ready to have another baby. That's a lot. Most babies will retreat backwards, meaning they will try to go back to being a baby because they realize that somebody else is coming in. Okay? Babies are very smart. Okay? They be knowing about a pregnancy before we know. The adults. Go figure. Okay? But you want to start preparing them to be a big brother or a big sister, to not feel left out, to feel like they can help with taking care of the new baby once they come home, um, but also making sure that they don't feel disconnected from you as their mother or as their father, because that time still got to be spent. You still got to show up for them. They still got to feel loved. Okay. I think that's extremely important because a lot of people don't realize that that's perhaps something that they should be thinking about ahead of time. What that other child may feel. Some kids be just, they just don't care to have a sibling. Okay. It's nothing against them. It don't make them a bad child, but some people just don't want to share their parents. Okay, you will have some kids, some babies that just don't want to, and that's okay. You soothe and you reassure them and say, hey, mommy is here for you and daddy is here for you, but we also have to make sure that we here for your little brother or your little sister, and that you can participate and help us take care of them. I think that takes a lot of the pressure off of young kids when they realize that they can help. Okay. Um, what else? Mm, Making sure that you advocating throughout the entire pregnancy. If there's something that don't feel right, sit right, then it may not be right, and that's okay for you to question that. Don't be a yes person, meaning you agree to everything they say and you don't have no questions about nothing. No, ask questions. If you're unsure, get understanding and clarity, so that you're not saying yes to something that you don't understand. Okay, a lot of people do it. I'm guilty. Okay, so this is why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm not coming for nobody. I'm just simply saying, be an advocate. Say what you mean and mean what you say, and stand on it. Don't let nobody change your mind or guilt trip you into doing something that they would do if they was you, because they not. Okay. I feel like I want to wrap this up with saying, hey, this has been one heck of a year for me. But out of the whole year, the best things that I have experienced this year is the birth of two of my grandkids. I wouldn't change that for the world. It's absolutely put life into perspective, and they both have brought so much joy to my life. Just their existence, period, before I even met them. Um, Babies are a joy. They also are a lot of work. So be be cautious and mindful. Um, Prepare more. Don't just get out here and be willy-nilly and end up with a baby. You want to make sure that you are being supported both by the father and the family. Okay? Um, there are enough kids out here that don't feel loved or are not getting an equal balance of both parents. Don't allow that to be your story. Okay? Your child or kids deserve to have an equal balance of both a mother and a father, both healthy. Okay? Just because two parents are in the household does not mean that that is the best healthy environment for a child. Because a parent is present does not make them positive um, in the child's life. So those are all things you want to do your homework on, whoever it is you choose to have kids with. Okay? I think that is the main thing right there. Know who you about to spend the next 18 to 21 years or life with. Okay? Because there's no age cap on being a parent. And there is no cutoff point on when it's over as far as you being a parent. It won't be over until your life is over. Does that make sense? I know that's pretty harsh, but that's the truth. That's ultimately when that tie gets cut, severed, for real, as far as the physical. Okay? Um, Make sure that you're getting the best experience possible, that you can look back on it years from now and say, okay, I advocated the best I could for myself. That experience wasn't as bad as I anticipated it. And I'm proud of myself for the work that I did to make sure that it was a successful, painless labor and delivery. Okay? Some people have complications. Um, Understand that you could very well come up with a birth plan and things still not go according to plan. That is also okay. Okay? Have some grace with yourself. Be patient. But if you made your mind on a natural pregnancy and labor and delivery, stick with it. Don't let nobody change your mind. Okay? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I don't know who all chimed in or tapped in or commented, but I promise to get back on here, read some of the comments, respond back to them. I'm finally able to get back into my TikTok, so you'll be seeing me go live over there as well. Um, y'all be safe out here. It's Friday. I always tell y'all there'll be a lot of craziness going on the weekends. Y'all be safe, okay? Um, Take care of yourself, and y'all meet me back here on Tuesday at 11 a.m. for a new episode. Um, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Um, Continue to keep my family in your prayers, not because there's nothing bad going on, but there is also new life coming. I want to make sure that I'm setting the tone, okay, for this to be a positive experience for my child. I love y'all. Y'all be safe. Do something good for somebody else, but more importantly, take care of yourself. I love y'all. I'll see y'all Tuesday.